I have read the book From the Mixed Up Files of Miss Basil E. Frankweiler so many times that I have lost count. This book tells a great story about independence, secrets, bravery, adventure, and trust. When I read this book for the first time, I was about the same age as the children, and this connected me to them and their unique journey. The narrator of this book is Miss Basil E. Frankweiler, who is writing a letter to her lawyer, retelling Jamie and Claudia's adventure. The Winnie the Pooh series are timeless books that teach life lessons such as friendship, caring, kindness, and bravery. They have always provided me with comfort, relaxation, smiles, and happiness. The stories and memorable characters take away my fears and remind me of my childhood days at home. I remember my parents reading these books to me at bedtime. The Help is an important piece of historical fiction set in the early 1960s. This book has great imagery and descriptions. The story is narrated by many different characters and shows their different points of view and incredibly different lives. The Help is the type of the book that you want to keep reading until the end. The purpose of this book is to teach readers about how African Americans were treated during this time and the need for change and equality. Alexander in the Terrible, Horrible, No Good, Very Bad Day teaches one of life's greatest lessons, to see the good and bright side in everything. The main character realizes that not everything is going to go your way, but one needs to learn how to make the best out of any bad situation. This book is written very creatively with catchy phrases, memorable use of repetition, and engaging characters. The main theme of the book, The Little House, is that it's okay to be yourself. This book is a different and creative take on a common message. Some themes in this book are independence, a change in one's surroundings, and emotions such as fear. This book taught me that everything will work out in the end. The book Who taught me that kids can make an impact on the world and know what is morally right or wrong. Also, that kids' thoughts should be respected and trusted. I learned that teamwork makes the biggest impact to establish change. The book Owl Babies is one of my favorite childhood stories. My parents read it to me almost every night, and it's still on my bookshelf. The book has a happy ending, and some themes are the love of a family and the bond of a mother and child. The main characters are some of my favorite animals that live in my backyard. Every time I read this book, I smile. The story in the book Owl Moon could really have happened in my backyard. Every night at home when I'm lying in my bed, I can hear the owls hooting in our yard. I could relate to this adventure story based on my own experiences and interests. The illustrations in this book are so real, and the adventure could really be my father and me. I can completely relate to the characters in this book. Owl Moon takes place in a town in Massachusetts, which looks from the illustrations like it could be the town of Lincoln where I live. The book The Mysterious Benedict Society is the story of an extraordinary and exciting adventure. I would have liked to be a character in this book because the plot was captivating and the children spy and discover important secrets. There are many interesting, developed, and lifelike characters in this story. The book Ride a Purple Pelican is a collection of poetry that took me around the world. Each poem is by a different place and adventure. Some of the poems are realistic and some are complete fantasy with whimsical characters, but I could picture myself being with them because I love to travel. The poems are written with very catchy rhymes and flow like songs. Book A Child's Garden of Verses is filled with classic, timeless poetry. I remember reading this book with my mom at bedtime and her showing me all her childhood favorites. Most of the poems are about children doing realistic activities, which I could totally relate to. The words are sweet but sophisticated and contain life lessons. I still remember every word to some of them and can still picture the soft hand-drawn illustrations. The Little Engine That Could is a book that taught me if you set your mind to something and try your hardest, then you will be able to achieve things that you thought were impossible. The moral of this story is that you shouldn't let people convince you that you can't do something and always believe in yourself. I went to the mountain that this book was inspired by with its old rusty railroad that is no longer used.